What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope all you're having a great day so far today. It's been a beautiful day. Getting into this episode of GH, you know, I was always indifferent when it came to Elizabeth, but I respect her. You want to know why? Because she's one of the few characters on this show that actually has to work for a living. Like, she's not, like a Corinthos or a Quartermain or a Cassadine or whatever. She can't just take days off from work and the money just keeps piling in. Like, she got unlimited resources. You know what I mean? Like, she got to work. Her kids are, one is in college, the other two are going to be there soon, in a few years or whatever. So she got to bust her hump to pay for that stuff. My whole thing is that's why she took the extra shifts. Yeah, I honestly have to give props to Elizabeth because she's working overtime to make sure Cameron has the full college experience with the dorm. But my thing is, why does she have to work so hard for him to be in college? If I remember correctly, Franco created a scholarship fund for all three of the kids. And I do vaguely remember him mentioning something about life insurance. So if he had all those things, then her and the kids should be okay financially. Like, she shouldn't have to work extra shifts and bust her ass like this. You know what I mean? Even Finn was concerned with all the extra hours she was putting in and stuff. But I respect it though. When you're a single parent and all that, you gotta do what you gotta do. And Liz has been doing that for quite some time. So I do tip my hat to her. I definitely do. But I also had a theory about what's going on. Because remember all this crazy stuff that's been happening with Elizabeth lately? Somebody burning down Franco's studio, um, the tore up wedding dress, her getting locked in the art studio and stuff like that. I have a theory about this. I'm really starting to believe Liz may have DID. It kind of would explain some things. Because when she saw that wedding dress, the way she looked at it, when it was torn up like that, and the excuse that she gave Terry, that really caught me off guard. I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe she does have a split personality or something. Because who else had access to Franco's studio? Her keys were not missing, they were there. And the only other person who had the keys was the maintenance slash landlord guy. He was the only. They were only two. Um, and then she got this letter, this card, from somebody saying, "Thinking of you. We're both thinking of him. Love B," or something like that. And she thought the B stood for Betsy. But remember when Terry used to always call her Biz? Like that was her nickname for Elizabeth, Biz. What if the B was for Biz? And that's her alter ego. That's my theory. I don't know. I mean, all of this sounds like some voodoo spooky shit to me, but is it possible that she could have a split? You know what I mean? Like Elizabeth has been through a lot in her life, so maybe Franco's murder caused her to finally lose all sense of reality. Maybe. I mean, it's not the first time she don't went off the rails. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at her actions over the years. I'm just saying, let's. I'm trying to look at it objectively here. Like, it's possible somebody's messing with her, but it's also possible her alter is messing with her, like she's messing with her damn self at this point. I don't know. It would be quite interesting. It damn sure would be. So anyway, moving on from that, it was kind of funny watching Anna and Finn go down memory lane and stuff because she was talking about how she missed coming home and seeing him reading some doctor book or some medical book and Violet playing Tea Party and stuff. She missed all of that. But now she's talking about she's all alone or whatever. I was confused by that because I'm like, I know her and Valentine are not an official couple, but she's far from alone because her and Valentine have been getting lovey dovey and cutesy lately. So I'm like, what does she mean she's all alone? Like she acting, talking as if she's by herself. Like I said, her and Valentine are not a couple officially, but it's clear that's what Valentine, that's what he wants. Like he trying to knock them boots. Um, but I love when Finn be asking Anna like how is she doing, and she be like, "Oh, I'm just running around trying to find Peter." I love how he clarified that. He said, "No. How are you doing? Like emotionally, how are you doing?" She was making it sound like he asking what she's been up to or whatever. No, he's asking how you doing, not what you're doing. I like that. It's like yeah, because I've done that to a few people before where I ask like how you doing, and they be like, "Oh, I'm doing this." I didn't ask what you were doing. It's the two different things when somebody asks you how you doing and what you doing. It's totally different. Um, But Finn was right. He was like, listen, what happened between him and Anna was God's will. Maybe it was meant to be that they weren't meant to be a couple. She kept apologizing to him for how things went down or whatever between them. You can apologize, but there's no need. Everything happened for a reason, and I definitely agree with that. Um. So anyway, Maxie, I'm loving how Maxie is using her brain. I'm loving it because Peter is still not going to fully trust her. So she's using her brain to try to get herself out this situation. So apparently Peter done bought a damn cabin up in Switzerland, which is close to his old boarding school. Um, and he didn't want to tell Maxie where they were, like a precise location or whatever, talking about for her protection. Yeah, okay. He don't trust her. That's really what it is. So she convinced him to pull over and stop. Do you know this fool stood outside the bathroom waiting on her? That's how much he did not trust her because he thought she was going to try to run or try to leave him or whatever. That fool is nuts. Like, I don't even know why I'm saying it like I'm shocked. We all know he crazy as hell. Um, Maxie was smart. She was looking around the bathroom for something that could help her. So she found a lipstick or whatever, and she started writing on the mirror, putting down Anna's number and stuff like that, telling somebody to call her that I'm in trouble or whatever. And she left her earring behind. She was smart. Maxie played this shit smart, and I don't even know why I'm shocked, but she played this very smart, and I'm glad they had her use her brain because it's like Anna Devane, is close to her. That's basically like family to her. She's basically family. That's her aunt basically. Um, Felicia, Frisco as her parents, and Mac as her dad, and Robert as her uncle and stuff like that. Well, all these cops and spies and PIs in the family, I'm glad she's using her noggin. You know what I'm saying? She was smart to try to get herself up out of this, to leave little clues and trails behind. And some lady, after Maxie and Peter left, some lady walked up in there and saw it, and she called Anna and took a picture of the earring. Anna recognized it. I said, good, y'all finally got a damn lead. Because I know Sam was talking about how Dante was, hoping to get a lead. And I love that little devilish little smirk that Maxie had on her face when her and Peter drove off and stuff. She had that little slick smile on her face. That was smart. Very smart. So now Anna's on the trail. I thought I understood where she was coming from about why she didn't want Felicia to go with her because she felt like that would be, a liability to have Felicia there. Because it's too close to home for Felicia, like it's way too personal because that's her daughter. You know what I mean? So I get it. But I would rather Felicia be there than Drew. And the reason I say that is because Anna was worried about Drew going because of Peter's um mind control. You know what I'm saying? Peter has the card and the tools to take control of Drew anytime he wants to. All he has to do is pull out the card and say the code word, and boom, Drew is under his control. That's what she's worried about. And Drew's sitting there talking about, well, if that happens, then you know what to do. That's why he shouldn't be going, because if he goes with Anna, that is a liability. Anna's going to be pretty much alone in this. She's going to have to deal with Drew and Peter. That's the odds are going to be stacked against her. You know what I mean? Because she told Sam to stay in Port Charles and keep an eye on Victor or whatever. That's why I feel like, no, Drew should have stayed in Port Charles, kept an eye on Victor. And Sam, Felicia, if Felicia wanted to, I mean, the more help, the better. I feel like, Anna, Sam, and Felicia, or maybe Anna, Sam, and Dante, or Felicia and Dante should have went with her. She should have called Dante and had him come. And she should have called Switzerland authorities and stuff and put them on notice. Anna's going to need all the backup she can get, but I wouldn't have took Drew with me. That's too big of a liability. If Peter knows how to mind control him, no, I wouldn't take that chance. I'm sorry. Hell no, I'm not taking that risk. Not with my life. No, absolutely not. Um. So anyway, moving on from that, the scenes with Lisa and Austin are hilarious. Them trying to listen in on Victor conversation and stuff. I was shocked that Victor didn't notice that bug that Lisa planted on him. Because when Drew jacked him up against that wall and that shit fell, I'm surprised Drew didn't notice it. But I guess he didn't notice it because he was in the heat of the moment, I guess. But Victor really tried to think he was slick, though. He tried to pull out this tarot card or whatever, talking about you're active. And it was so hilarious because Drew looked at that shit. He said, is that supposed to mean something? That was hilarious. He was like, "Is this supposed to mean something to me?" Victor was tight. He was like, Victor knew in that moment Peter done got his ass again. He done double crossed him again. I said, see, his old ass will never learn. He will never learn. And now Laura's starting to figure out that something in the milk ain't clean. Like, she always knew Victor wasn't right. She always wondered why Victor came back to town. But after talking with Lisa, now she's getting to the nitty gritty of things. Like, that's why Victor came back. He needs something from Drew. The question is the what. But according to Victor, Drew has memories or whatever of Victor's operations or whatever. He knows a lot about the Cassadine operation. Maybe it's Drew's memory, maybe it's leftover Jason memories, maybe, I don't know, but he knows that Drew has these memories. Like, he has his whole base of operation, and he needs that from him. Like, he needs to make sure he get that. Because with the Cassadines, there's always a bigger play at hand. I don't think it's just that, because Victor was talking about a threat to the family. So it's bigger. It's a lot going on with Victor that he's not talking. It's like a lot like Helena, he talks in riddles. Basically, he's never gonna give you the clear cut answer. Like, that's not his MO. He ain't gonna do it. And it was super funny because Victor noticed the bug on the ground that got broke. He saw it and he noticed it. So I'm pretty sure it ain't gonna take long for Victor to put the pieces together that Lisa bugged him. So you know he probably gonna come knocking on her door. Um, so anyway, moving on from that, Sasha and Brando need to go to counseling. They need to do counseling either together or separate. I love Helena Matson stepped in for her sister. Because that's Sophia's sister that took over temporarily the role of Sasha. She stepped into this role flawlessly, I feel. That's just my opinion. I think she did a really good job with that. Um, but yeah, I really hope Sasha's not using again. Cause she talking about, oh, she has her way of coping with this, and I don't like that. Cause when she says she got her way of coping, yeah, that's what makes me afraid. Like, what is your way? You know what I mean? Like, I really don't want her to fall back into old habits. I just feel like her and Brando need each other. You know what I'm saying? They need to deal with this loss together, and I think they need to talk to a professional, because clearly Brando even admitted that he's still struggling. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like talking to family and friends, it's clearly not helping. You know what I'm saying? So maybe talking to a professional may help them, and I think they should try that, go that route. I definitely think they should. It wouldn't hurt, because the last thing we need or they need is to be going down this rabbit hole, you know what I'm saying, where they don't get professional help and shit really hits the fan. You know, that's what I don't want to see. But anyway, this was pretty much the whole episode. It was a pretty kind of like chill episode today. Hit the comment section, let me know what y'all thought, and I will see y'all all later. Have a great night. Peace.